know whether Andy's going to share his camera as well at some point.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, take your time, no stress. All right. Well, everybody, welcome to the AI Control AMA here at Pinksale. My name's Shono, in case you don't know me. If you do, then welcome back to the space. And today we have, sorry, it was Andy and what was your name again?
Simon.
Sorry, Simon. That's
Simon.
right. We got
Yeah.
Andy and Simon from the AI Control team. So guys, welcome and thank you for joining. And again, thank you for sharing your video with us. Great to see some gentlemen behind the screens, as I should say, not kids that are running the projects nowadays. So it's it's good to see.
Well, hopefully we are a little bit different. We do have a decent sized business in the UK. We run a YouTube agency called S Media. So if anybody want to check that out, it's www.s.media. It's one of the bigger agencies in the UK. We've been involved in a lot of crypto projects, and probably 3-4 years ago, we started getting asked a lot of projects started to come to us and ask us to help them, which is what really sort of piqued our interest in getting involved in the space. Mm-hmm. I've been in crypto since the very beginning, or almost the beginning. 2011, I was mining Bitcoin and managed to not keep that wallet, so I'm not very happy about that. But anyway.
Oh no, that sucks. I'm sure I've got a few old email addresses with some Bitcoin in there that I just can't access anymore as well. But it all contributes to the nice price action of Bitcoin. So let's just think about it that way.
Well, you got to console yourself with the fact that I probably would have sold them on the way up, and you would have done. So, we work with a lot of projects, and we see what's happening in the next part of the bull run, and we see that AI will be a huge part of that. So we want to create a project which gives AI a voice, but I'm sure you'll come on to that with a lot of other questions.
Yeah, definitely. See, it's funny that the crypto market has so many trends, and I'm not sure what your sort of involvement is with sort of shit coins, as we call them, or meme coins, but every so often there seems to be a new trend that takes off in the crypto space, and the last bull run was predominantly NFT marketplaces and things like that. And yeah, I agree with you. This time it's going to be AI type tokens and things. We had a token launch of Pinksale 2 weeks ago, and it's just hit $50 million market cap at 1000x. So I can definitely see that this is the new trend that's coming this way. So glad to see you guys on board, and again, glad to see some gentlemen running some projects here.
Well, look, yeah, we've been involved in all of the meme coin, and shouldn't really say the word shitcoin, but there's been an awful lot of that. We went out and spoke at Cryptomania in Houston and stood on stage and talked about the whole meme coin space. And you're right, the last bull run was predominantly metaverse and meme, and now this next piece is going to be AI. There's tons of great AI projects out there. I was talking to some of the guys at Chart AI last week on one of their AMAs, and that's a great product. The question is, if we leave AI unchecked, where does it go? And this is a problem for me. It's something that everybody's got an opinion on, and I don't sit on either side of the fence. As somebody who's leading the project, I like to think that I can take all of the viewpoints in, and that's why we're going to create a DAO, so that the project can actually then have involvement with other projects and sort of rubber stamp what they're doing, and be a bit of a governance in the space.
Yeah, nice. Well, look, I've sort of gone a long-winded circle, but I'll just let you two guys introduce yourselves a little bit more to everybody here, and then we can actually start to talk about AI control. But yeah, I'll let you kick it off.
Absolutely. My name's Simon Young. I run a business called S Media in the UK, along with a few other businesses. If you want to check me out on LinkedIn, I'll post my link in the chat. So I'm fully doxed to this project, as is my business partner Andy, and he'll tell you a bit about his background. I've been in crypto. I'm the sort of nerdy guy who was like always fascinated with code and scripting. And when I saw this thing called Bitcoin pop up, I thought, yeah, we'll have a go at that. I started mining it, and ever since I've have a passion for DeFi. Being a marketing agency, we've helped a lot of projects and been in all of the Telegram groups, all the calls groups, done everything across, Twitter. Been, one of the projects we worked on, we spent a couple of $100,000 on marketing, pushing out tweets into certain influencers, and then ended up finding out that all of that was worthless almost. So we've learned a lot. We're at a point where we understand where money should be spent in the space. We've built a marketing plan for this project going forward. I'll let Andy tell you a little bit about himself as well.
Yeah, first of all, apologies, guys. My camera's not turning on for some reason. Simon will go typical because I'm not the techie. So my name's Andy Price. I will share my LinkedIn as well. So my background is I've been in brand marketing and advertising for over 30 years, worked across some of the biggest brands in the world, doing TV, press, posters, websites, all kinds of stuff. And I've been working with Simon for a few years now. And, we got involved in some other crypto projects and other Web3 projects and all kinds of stuff this last few years. And it's been a really exciting time. But just personally, regarding this project, I've noticed it starting to take AI, that is, a lot of jobs within the marketing and advertising industry. On LinkedIn alone, I'm connected to thousands of people who I know personally through the industry over the years. A lot of them have just got no work at the moment, and that's just in the creative industries because of AI. I use AI myself on this project with Simon and some of our team, probably 3 hours a day, various things, music, images, video, chat GPT, social posting. And AI, and please don't misunderstand me here, and I say this on our TikTok, is absolutely brilliant. I think one of the problems is the legislation around it, the use of it, and who's making the decisions, because the big tech companies are taking the decisions because it's their tech, but the governments are woefully behind on things. So this, and we'll get into this as we go through the AMA, but this project's got, we're looking to do certain things, I would say. But yeah, so my background's the marketing side, and we'll chat a little bit more about that later on. So yeah, but if anybody, like I said, check me out on LinkedIn. You can see I'm real. And anyway, you've got the pretty guy on the screen anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I think you'll find that everybody calls you Jared Butler, but yeah, you got me. And then he conveniently can't share his camera.
Yeah, convenient. But yeah, well, thanks for running us through that, guys, and yeah, really good to see that you have a bit of professional history and lots of work and stuff in the crypto space that you've been doing previously. But yeah, in terms of the actual AI control project, I guess let's start learning a little bit more about that and what that's all about.
Yeah, so we struggle with the fact that there isn't really a consensus as to where AI should go. I think everybody sat back. You've got people who are doomers who sit there and say, right, okay, we end up with a Skynet scenario and AI comes along and destroys the human race, right? That's sort of the conspiracy theorist view. But then you've got people that, I was watching a TV documentary the other day about the BBC talking about medical care in nursing homes, and they're already using AI to diagnose people. Now, does that then go ahead and put a lot of doctors out of work? Well, okay, it probably does. And there's an awful lot, as Andy says, of industries that a lot of jobs will go. I'm sure a lot of people are concerned about what their kids are going to do in the future. I'm concerned what certain career paths my kids will take. But you have to look at AI and say it's there to supplement what we're going to do and improve how we live. How we govern that and speak about it is the important thing. And the European Union, right? So the European Parliament, who govern the majority of what we do in the UK, we come out of Brexit, but it still affects what we do in this area of the world. They've come out and said they're going to introduce legislation to control how AI is implemented. Well, you know how parliaments work, and this is going to come across, it says, early 2025. Well, I think by then it's probably going to be too late. You know,
I agree.
The rate at which AI is growing. There was an article the other day that said currently ChatGPT, which is, I don't think necessarily one of the better AI engines, has an IQ of 155. Now, an IQ of 155 is genius level, right? It's already more intelligent than the majority of people that you'll ever meet. If you then extrapolate the curve at which that will grow, it is conceivable that they say that ChatGPT, and this is aside from other AIs that are out there, will have an IQ of 1600 next year and maybe 16,000 in 5 years. Now, that is the equivalent of me trying to talk to my dog, because you know, at the end of the day, once something becomes that intelligent, we won't be able to understand it. And we all know that there are plenty of instances where AI has been turned on and eventually within half an hour, for example, it's talking to itself. You know, they set a Twitter bot up to talk to each other, and it then within half an hour, nobody can understand what it's saying, but it is clearly communicating. And that's pretty scary, right? And this is all besides what's going on with the military. You know, obviously we're never going to get to touch or see what goes on behind the scenes, but it's getting to a point where I believe we need humans in the loop, and we need policies put in place. And we need also, when we see a lot of projects that are going to be using AI, whether they're using it responsibly. And we as a group, when we create a DAO, we believe that the members of that should have a say and a voice in the space and be able to contribute. And that's essentially what we're trying to create. On top of that, we intend to invest in other projects. So when we see projects that we as a DAO approve and like, we will have a treasury fund. And this is essentially the utility of the token. The treasury fund will invest on behalf of the members. I should be careful to use the word invest, but we're not in the US, so we don't have to necessarily worry about that so much yet, unless the UK Financial Services Authority jump onto this video and then watch Simon and then get him to come and explain himself, which will probably happen at some point. But at the end of the day, crypto projects, if they're run responsibly, are businesses, right? And effectively, we are making a public raise for seed funding to grow a project and hopefully grow it into one of the biggest projects in the world. So we see this as a starting jumping off point to engage your community and those around. And then obviously we're going to talk about how marketing will go forward after that. Andy, have you got anything you want to add?
I think you were just about to say, Simon, in terms of going into other projects, you know, if we can build this, and we believe we can with everybody's help, into a global project where other AI projects come to us for kind of, call it, approval, guidance, to talk to the community, we can get that checked out. We can advise them. We can invest in it. It just becomes a really powerful body, I think is the term to use. And, you know, we've even set up a change.org petition to try and build things. And we're trying to talk to some local politicians, and we're getting other people in the community to do the same. So, because the thing is, unlike other crypto projects, which quite frankly, a lot, you don't see people who've doxed them. You can't trust most of them. They're not run as proper businesses. They're not very grown up. The thing with AI is, unlike the metaverse, unlike other things that have kind of gone before in the crypto space, AI is here to stay. It will affect absolutely every single human living on this planet now and in the future. It will change society. And because of that, one, the opportunity is massive because everybody can get involved. But two, there's a good reason behind what we're doing here. It is to give everybody a voice. It is to try and help get legislation done. And yeah, that will be an uphill fight, but you can't just sit here and not do anything. So I think the project's multifaceted in lots of ways, and it's relevant to everybody. And that's why, just as an aside from a marketing perspective, whilst initially we have to talk to people in the crypto space, raise the funds, all those things, this project from a marketing perspective will go out across traditional channels. It has to, because it will affect everybody. And I think that's what's really exciting about it. It can be a bridge between DeFi, crypto, real world, AI. It's got such possibilities to reach a lot of people, which I think is the exciting thing. It's not just a crypto project. It's much bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. And see, I think you guys are right. Historically, you look at the inception of the internet. The internet came in, and then there was no sort of governing bodies. It went absolutely crazy. There was porn and the dark web, and there was all this sort of stuff going out of control because there was no governance coming anywhere worldwide, and every country started to implement their own governance towards the end. Same with mobile phones. There was no governance on mobile phone use and taking photos illegally and things like that. So I can definitely see, that the AI side of things being the exact same as you touched on. 2025 is very, very late to the party. So I certainly think we need some governance and people who are, trying to put things into order. I think that would definitely be a big part of AI's success anyway.
Well, look, I talk to a lot of people about what's going to happen with finance in the future as well, because Andy and I are Forex intraday traders, right? And we look at the financial markets all the time. My interest being how, for example, Bitcoin and stable coins interact with that market and the future of finance. I know loads of people talk about what that next step is in terms of, is it, Ripple, is it whatever it is, right? But we're entering a world where the global financial system is going to become tokenized. And there's no question whether that'll happen or not, because we're moving into a cashless society. And our devices will then track us doing absolutely everything that we do day in, day out, fully taxed and end-to-end transactions. So it'll even say, Simon, you've spent too much money on alcohol this month, so therefore your insurance premium's going to go up, right? So all of these projects will come, but we need to be careful how that is implemented. And I'm glad you talked about the start of the internet. Luckily, I was there to see all of that happen. And as the start of my career got going, I saw how the internet developed, and now we still don't really have control. Will we have control of AI? I honestly doubt it, right? But we've got to do something, and we've got to do something as quickly as possible. And we need a voice for the communities that are out there. And we will go on to hopefully build. Our intention is to build one of the world's biggest YouTube channels, because that's our knowledge and experience. That's where we help a lot of clients make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month through their YouTube channels. Now, even a lot of YouTube has moved now to using AI to generate video. So as Andy was saying earlier, a lot of people in the videography and marketing plus graphic design industry are losing their jobs, because you can now go on to tools like, for example, Photor, and press a button and say, I want an image of XYZ. And well, one of the examples was I asked AI to produce me a picture of Joe Biden being shot with a sniper rifle with a nuclear explosion with a Ripple coin in the middle of it, just so that I could talk about Ripple on a AMA. Now, that image was created in under a minute, and it was amazing, right? So to ask a graphic designer to go and do that would take them a couple of hours minimum, right? And they probably come back with something that was nowhere near as good as what definitely. You would. Right. So we are getting to a point where it's pretty scary. And I worry about what my kids' jobs will be. And do we then move into a world where hardly anybody's working and we all get paid by a universal credit system? Who knows, right? But we want to be in a position where we can create a huge community who have a say and have a voice. And that's the point globally. You touched on it, Shauno, that at the moment it's all disparate. There's a lot of legislation that works in one country, doesn't in another. Well, we as a decentralized community, that's the whole point, right? We should have a voice, a global voice, and anybody from across the world can join and be part of that. And we, you know, that's what the vision we've got.
Got it. Nice. Well, yeah, that really sums up all my questions related to the actual project itself. Yeah, it's a cool concept. As mentioned, I think it's on the forefront. You know, you guys are a few steps ahead thinking of this idea and trying to implement this early on. I really do hope that it takes off. I'm kind of skeptical on how you guys would sort of get around the Jeep mentality within the crypto space, in the sort of quick people who want a quick buck and people who aren't wanting to stick around and, you know, be part of this sort of community and things like that. So I'm just wondering how you'd go around that. You'd only really find founders like yourselves and you know, people who are really interested in AI as a tech. But I think, you know, slowly but surely, if you stick around, that the community will definitely grow.
Look, we've got access to some really big communities anyway, so they will be coming into this pre-sale. We have a very small community that we've brought across from another project who came into a private sale, and they were limited to buying up to 0.2 ETH. Admittedly, most of them bought 0.05. Those guys will get the same price as whatever comes out of the public sale. So it's not as if they're going to get a massive bonus or a better price. Once the fair launch is done, the tokenomics will be then finished, and we may have to then burn some tokens to actually balance things up. But that'll all happen, you know, just as the pre-sale ends. So if anybody's got any concerns about that, yes, there is a small private sale. We raised about 9 ETH, and those guys will get airdropped a 10% bonus after launch. So, and they're all pretty much people that have been with us for years. So they're not, you know, they're not moon boys or people that have got in just to buy and sell. Most of those are not necessarily experienced crypto investors, if you know what I mean.
Got it. Yeah, nice. And I guess now just touching on your actual fair launch, I can see is posted up on Pinksale, and for anybody who's interested in looking at it, the link's pinned in the Pinksale chat, so you can see that quickly. So you've got, I don't know, 5.5 days, we'll call it, just to make it even, easy to say, and a low soft cap of 10 ETH, which I think you'll definitely reach. What we tend to see on Pinksale is investment start, you know, pretty early on and then sort of flattens out, and then towards the last 24 hours, you'll start to see the investments come through. And the reason being is that most people don't want to lock up their funds for a long period of time, and 5 days is long considered in crypto. So yeah, don't be too disheartened by
enough.
what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I get that. I'm in several groups where I trade meme coins on a daily basis on launches, right? So I get how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, I use some of the bots myself to, you know, to trade daily, right, with stop losses and take profits, and I get how it works. So I don't know whether you've ever used the Maestro bot, but that's the one I use. I'm a member of quite a lot of big groups, but hence that's where I've got a lot of the connections that will be coming into the sale. I'm connected to a lot of other projects as well, and the interesting thing is that we will be working with other projects closely. So there's a lot of the AI projects that launched recently, you know, Chart AI, I mentioned, Sentient, Optimus, there's a few others, right? But a lot of those guys will be getting them on to do AMAs on the AI control channel. And as I say, as soon as we can build that channel, and we've got the ability to build video views to millions really quickly. So that's where a great deal of the marketing effort will go. We will, subsequent to the pre-sale, go on to some of the bigger calls groups. And I've got the connections there. I am speaking to, I'm not going to name the ones because otherwise I'll suddenly get, I'll suddenly get a much larger bill than I might necessarily want. But yeah, we've got connections to a lot of the big groups. One thing I will say, though, if you're watching this and you are a shiller, please stop DMing me, right? There is clearly an affiliate link on the sale, right? There's a 5% affiliate Pinksale fee. All they've got to do is obviously go and connect their wallet and get an affiliate link and begin marketing, right? And I do work with quite a lot of calls groups anyway, and I don't want to just like anybody who doesn't know me, I don't want a DM saying, "Hey bro, $50 post in my group," and then the next second when I say no, I get, "Well, I need at least $10," and I just go, "No, look, if you're listening and you want to actually work with us, we will work with genuine communities, right?" There's a guy I'm working with at the moment. He's going to put this project will be going out on his TikTok, and he's got 2.5 million subscribers. It'll be going out later today. So as we build through the pre-sale, we'll keep everybody aware of what's going on. We're used to running communities, right? But I want this to be a project where we're a bit more hands-off, and it's the community that runs it, because at the end of the day, it's the community that will own the project, and eventually we'll be able to completely step back and let it run itself as it should do, you know, and that's where it's run fairly and as a decentralized organization.
Beautiful. Anything you wanted to chip in there, Andy?
No, I think what Simon said's really good, and I think we've talked about this before with other projects, and it's a difficult balancing act. In the crypto space, people want to make a quick buck, and I get that. We all do, and I know, you know, everybody out here, we're all here to make a little bit of money, but equally, and I think going back to the thing I said about AI being here to stay, unlike other things, and here to change lives in a very, very different way to something we've probably ever experienced before. Simon and I often talk about building brands and businesses within the crypto space, and this is what we want this to be. We want it to be a proper organization. So in terms of any holdings, yeah, people I'm sure will do well, but it's also something long-term that could be really, really good for people. So, you know, I'd encourage people not to think of it as a normal quick book project. Yes, that's there, but I think the opportunities are far more wide-reaching, if that makes sense. And it's also been part of something, a community that's very, very different, as opposed to the usual thing. And I know that's hard for people maybe to get their head around, but, you know, we do approach things slightly differently to Simon and I. So, you know, we want this to be different, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that. And I know you guys are committed because, you know, you've got the audit SAFU and the KYC badge, and shortly after this AMA, you'll have your DOXXED badge. So I can see that you guys are committed. Another question that I wanted to ask that might not be that we might not have touched on was about your buy and sell tax within your token, and then what those rewards or taxes might be used for.
Yeah, so to start with, and I know obviously a lot of people look for a contract to be renounced, right, as soon as it goes live. Sorry for all the beeps, but like I'm getting how many DMs a second. I think I had 500 yesterday about this, but talking about the taxes and the contract renouncement. So people would obviously normally expect a contract to be renounced as soon as it goes live, and that's what a lot of people. It's what I look for, right? When I'm looking to go into a project and 2 or 3x and get out, I'm looking for that, because I'm looking for it to not be a rug or a honeypot or something like that. So we are obviously doxed, right? You guys have seen my face. I've just posted my LinkedIn link into the Pinksale group, right? So by all means, come and connect with me. You can see who we are. So we will not renounce that contract to start with, because the future means that when we get this as big as we need it to be, then we want to go on to some of the major exchanges. And if we start with a 5% buy and sell tax, we need that to obviously market the project and grow a treasury. So as it stands, we've got 5% buy and sell, 2% to marketing and buybacks, and then 2% to treasury and 1% to LP, right? So the treasury wallet will be used for us to buy into other projects. So when projects come to us to run an AMA or partner with us, we will obviously charge them a fee. But we're not going to just charge that fee and then pocket it, right? What we're going to do is use that fee to invest back into their own project. And that investment then goes into our treasury wallet, which is for the community. So the distribution of that is not going to be, for example, you need to hold X number of tokens to then take part of a reward, because that actually generates a security, which we won't do. And let's just be clear, anything that we're saying on this AMA, and I should have said this right at the start, does not constitute financial advice, right? We're creating a DAO, an organization for you guys to get involved in, and we hope that people want to be involved, and they may well profit from that. Anyone who buys and sells, it's at their own risk and their own intention, okay? But when we take money from taxes, the main part of that is the treasury. So when the treasury invests into other projects, and when other projects come to us, and also when that YouTube channel is earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, that money also comes into the treasury wallet. The treasury wallet is used to invest in projects that the community members approve. So for example, you know, if we want to look at Sentiment AI and we were going to partner with them, and we like what they're doing as a community, there's an opportunity for both projects to benefit, because we've got big communities, both of us. And then we then invest part of that treasury wallet into their project. So they've got solid long-term holders. And eventually we've got additional funds to come back into the treasury wallet to then invest in further projects. So the really interesting thing is, if you're coming into AI Control, not only do you have a say, you have a portfolio of approved AI projects that we've vetted and effectively doxed and worked with and are prepared to then invest in. But again, as the leaders of the project, we can only make those recommendations, but it'll be the community that goes and approves it and, you know, looks at how we run the business going forwards.
Good stuff. All right. Last question from me, and then we'll get some questions from the audience, because I think I'm harping on too much. But did you guys want to quickly run us through some of the, I know you sort of touched on your marketing stuff beforehand, but if there's any additional marketing that you want to run us through before we get questions from the audience?
Well, the biggest opportunity, the enormous opportunity is YouTube for us, and obviously other socials, right, like TikTok. But when we work with TikTok, we've got a lot of, there's mainly the way to drive traffic to YouTube is through TikTok. But contribution of video and content from AI, right? So we will be using AI in our own channel, clearly. But contribution of AI and video content from our community will build that channel. And it's that actual impetus and growth that we need to actually then get the conversation going. But as we create the conversation and the debate, that's where we can get contribution from across the globe, right? So that's that part of it. That gives us content. But in terms of pushing the project itself, obviously we've got funds coming into the marketing wallet. We've got connections with a lot of the big groups. I've got connection with a lot of people that run these other projects. So partnering with those projects is the next step. And then moving on to January, the launch of the DAO, the app that goes with that, the treasury fund, and then the investment into other projects is where we then pull people from those projects as well.
Cool. Thank you. All right. Well, guys, let's get some questions for the team here. Please raise your hands. Make sure that you guys ask one question so we can get through as many as we can. And let's see how we go. Paragon, go for it, buddy.
Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Hey. Yep.
All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Following this AI trend, I was able to come across a particular project not quite long, and the project does show just like this, and they launched and they had a lot of calls, and the project was able to hit 1 million market cap. That was quite all right, and it went down to around 300 or so. But it took them just like 2 announcements about a strong partnership, and the thing was able to hit, was very close to 5 million market cap, right from where it was. So, like, I don't know if you actually have something like this in mind to actually buffer this project, or because I checked your white paper and the website, and I did not really see a concrete partnership there.
So I didn't catch all of the question, unfortunately, because I've got that many beeps going off in my ear. So correct me, Shauno, if I don't answer the question correctly. But partnerships-wise will be announced once we've completed the pre-sale, because I don't want to overhype the project. I'm not doing it. I hope it's coming across in this AMA that we're not here to just absolutely smash it through the ceiling on the launch and then have it pull back. We want to create a really good solid floor for everybody and then build the announcements over the next couple of weeks. So I don't really want to go hell for leather, let all the cats out of the bag at the very, very start. And we do need to then make sure that if you're a holder, yes, look, we all realize that once it launches, you always get a big spike and a pullback, but it's our job to manage those announcements and partnerships through the next few weeks, which we have got lined up. So I've got, like I say, I've got connections to a lot of the AI projects that have done really well over the last few weeks. And those projects have already agreed to work with us to an extent. I've got connections with team members in those projects. So those announcements can come out slowly, steadily. We don't want it to all come at once, because that doesn't do you any good as a holder anyway, because, you know, if I make a massive announcement of 3 partnerships on one day, the price shoots up and you've missed that, then, you know, you get dumped on possibly, right? So one of the projects we ran before, we made that mistake. We did that all in one go, right? And I talked about it earlier. Well, I stood on a stage in Houston, made a load of announcements. The token price went 40x in a day, and surprisingly or not, everybody sold, or a lot of people that were originally in sold, and it dumped the liquidity in the project, right? And we spent a very, very long time building all of that back up, which is, you know, it's my job and Andy's job as project leaders to make sure that we do get continual growth. We know we're going to get, you know, the market pulls back and we will get a trend, right? But it's long term. We would love to see this, you know, we want to see this as $1 billion project.
Yeah, that is very, very nice to hear, because if you have that, it will not just give a good exit after launch, but it also gives confidence to the investors that this project is actually here to stay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we are absolutely here to stay, right? And I think some of my community will confirm that another one of our projects, we've been running it for 2.5 years, and probably through some of the most difficult conditions that have been out there in the market. You know, I think I sold a majority of what I had back in May 2021, right? And then the market since then has been rubbish. So we're now gladly, hopefully, seeing what's going to happen next year. I think 2024 is going to be huge. It's probably going to be the last big bull run, right, in terms of the ability to get into projects early enough that there will be thousands of X on the table. You know, once regulation comes in, probably late 24, early 25, and then the market goes off again in its cycle, governments are going to step in and start putting an awful lot of regulation in, if they're not already. But this next bull run is the last opportunity, I think. What do you think, Shauno? Do you think this is the next, you know, this is the big one? This is the next thing?
I've been saying this to a lot of people, and I'm glad you actually share the same opinion, is that this will be the last bull run before regulation comes in through DeFi, or DeFi is just banned everywhere, because you can see that, you know, Binance has been pulling out of countries left, right, and center. They've stopped withdrawals in certain countries, especially Australia. So, I think all of these sort of sorry, Paragon, I'm going to put you on mute. Yeah, I think this will be the last bull run, definitely for DeFi anyway.
Yeah, let us know if anybody else have got questions.
Yep. Anyway, Brain Twister, go for it, buddy.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Awesome. So, yeah, Joe, it's been awesome hearing you talk about your presentation, and there's definitely merit to it. There's just some things that came into my head, and I was so glad I got called because I would like some clarification. First of all, as a crypto project, so to speak, I'm going to feel skeptical about how serious you would be taken because, I mean, AI is being used by everybody. Web 2, Web 3, you name it. It doesn't matter whether you're a crypto maniac or not. And you trying to tokenize your particular dream or idea. I'm just worried about how serious you would be taken in the real world and basically if there is even a point to the token in itself. That's the first part that I'm worried about.
Okay, I can understand that, and I sit here as a 50-year-old in the UK with a British accent, no baseball cap, and memes or whatever flying about, and I'm not claiming to be something to do with Elon's dog, right? We genuinely know that we are able to then hand this project across to the people that care about the space. And that's what decentralizing a project means to me. So, I totally believe in the space. I'm not a degen in terms of I go out there and I do invest in other projects that I believe in long term. I've been in tons and tons of projects that I've seen them die. I'm not here to do that. Right. But if we can actually create something, and it is an if, right, as a community, it will be the community's job to create the actual debate and a project which is theirs, right, and that they care about. And I think we should all care about that. That's the main, the main impetus behind this will be the community, not just me. Because if it's just going to be me and Andy and a handful of people, and we're screaming from the rooftops, you're right. You are right. We would fail because, that voice will not last forever and it would peter out. But we're here to create something that thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of people should be caring about. And I think, I can walk down the street and talk to anybody and they will have an opinion on AI, right? A lot of people don't understand it yet. A lot of people don't care. People that are older than me probably care very little, right? But I care about my kids. I care about how the world is going to develop. And I think that is what is important. And it will be the community that makes a success, as with all of these projects, right? But I will be here, as will Andy and the other members of the team. And we've got quite a big team. They will be here week in, week out, driving that debate.
Yeah, that actually sounds beautiful, and I don't doubt, the passion you showed behind the project. I can see it even from where I am. The only point that I'm still worried about is the token in itself. Like, you may be able to make everything a success, but what's the incentive for people to buy and hold the token? And, make it.
Okay, look, the incentive to buy and hold is that we will be investing in other projects. So as we grow and our voice grows, we will be investing part of that treasury wallet into other projects that the community agrees. Now, when that happens, that treasury wallet buys back the token. So maybe I didn't explain that clearly enough earlier. So rather than a revenue share or you have to hold 1 million tokens to be able to get X, we're not going to work like that. We're going to use the treasury wallet to actually buy the token back, which then increases the floor continually. So as the investments grow and we work with more and more exciting projects, like the last couple of weeks, I've 3x'd, 4x'd a couple of investments myself, just day in, day out, right, on projects which are nothing to do with AI, right? And I'm not saying we're not going to day trade a treasury wallet, right? That's not what this project is about. It's about finding projects that we want to believe in and we can get into early, and we can invest small amounts, reasonable amounts into from that treasury wallet, and then slowly buy back our own token, which will increase the floor price, and then everybody in the project benefits from the increase in price. So we'll be continually buying back. There will be burns. I can't tell you exactly what those are going to be yet, because it depends once the pre-sale's finished, the allocation of the tokens has to happen, because obviously it's a fair launch. So once that finishes, we'll again probably run other AMAs where you guys can jump on and understand exactly how that's going to work.
All right, yeah, that sounds wonderful. And you're right, it's easy to 3x, 4x your bag. So I guess it's a viable option for people to hold and make profit. Thank you very much. And I will be following your project because I really want to see how far you guys take it and the community behind it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good stuff, Brain. Tolga, do you want to go up next?
Hi, Shano. Hi, Simon. Actually, my question go around the council that you guys aim to create in the long run, national and global council, becoming from tech companies and governments. Apart from governments, especially I'm focusing on tech companies, and you guys also have an investment DAO. In the long run, should there be any ethical concern that the DAO actually drives or leads that council in any decisions, or the other actual decisions to go forward in this AI-based world? Should there be any concern? And if that comes, or it's not a problem, I don't know, how will you solve that, or how will you manage that?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question as to do we end up with challenges within the organization that mean there actually has to be a decision made by individuals, which it shouldn't be. So the vision is to have it so that the community is fairly managed, and that as a DAO, it actually makes decisions, and those are public. So if, I'm not saying those decisions I would personally agree with, right? And I would have no say over that other than my own minority voting right that I would have myself, right? So it's very difficult to imagine a scenario where a question comes up that the community can't agree on. The rules from within the DAO have to be created in January. So once that launches, that's set in stone at that point, unless obviously then the organization decides to change certain rules itself. So keeping it completely fair and decentralized is obviously the dream. I get where you're coming from in terms of the challenges behind that, but hopefully we will be the voice of reason and here to direct the community. We have no way to actually make people's decisions for them, clearly, and it's the opinion of the human race we want, right? And everybody then gets a fair say. And I don't think necessarily a democratized system like that exists in AI, right? And do you then face a challenge of AI bots trying to vote in our own system? I don't know, right? That's an old future concept. But hopefully that sort of answers your question. I felt like I'm trying to turn into a bit of a politician.
Actually, this is something that in our daily lives, this question is, I feel sometimes bad that question comes to mind. Maybe that issues will be solved in the long run with the power of AI. I don't know. We don't know. Thank you. Good luck. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. D, go next.
Hello, Siano.
Hey, buddy.
Okay, am I audible? Hello, Andy. Hello, Mr. Joke. So you have really been so confident about your presentation and your project. It's obvious you are sure of what you are building so far. So I really appreciate that, your confidence and all. And also looking through your website is really cool and nice. So I want to also appreciate you for that. But I have a few concerns, let's say two, but I'll really be brief. The first concern I have is about the reward for active participation in the AI control ecosystem. And you said that it will help to encourage collaboration and participation. So I want to know if you are doing any kind of retroactive testing in your platform currently, because to me it's as if you are proposing an airdrop already, or is it for the community members? Is it for the community members, or is it for the DAO system? That's the first concern I have. But to run quickly through the second concern I have is about the referral that you talked about, the 5%. So I don't know where the 5% will be coming from. If it will be coming from the people that are being referred and they are actively either investing or participating in the ecosystem, or you have a treasury already that is set aside for this 5% to be distributed for those who will be interested in this aspect. And also, how are you going to manage the abuse of this? Because I'm trying to see it in the angle that some people may want to do self-referral and who may end up abusing what you are trying to do. So I don't know if you have plans in order to guide against all of this.
Okay, let's just take it one thing at a time. Okay, so Shauno, you might be able to just clarify for people exactly how the Pinksale referral scheme works, because as I understand it, you go onto the sale page, connect your wallet, and then if you scroll down, you can go and get an affiliate link. And if you then refer somebody, the 5% will be paid back to you after the pre-sales close. But just correct me if I'm wrong, Shauno.
No, so it works off the top contributing affiliates. So let's just say I created, I was the only person who created the affiliate link, and even if one person bought 0.01 ETH, then I'm the #1 contributor and I get the 5% affiliate reward. Whereas if there was 10 affiliates and each person had sort of an equal amount, then you would take a share of that 5% split by 10 people. Yeah.
But to answer, and I've forgotten the guy's name, unfortunately, but to answer Dee's question, the reward, that 5%, is paid from the raise. So it's not it's not in a separate treasury fund. It's paid out of the raise. So if we raise 50 ETH, it'll be 2.5 ETH. We'll be getting paid back out to people in affiliate fees. Doing the quick maths. Hopefully I got it right. Yeah. On what was the other question? Just remind me.
About the reward for active participation. So I was concerned if you are running a kind of testnet or a kind of retroactive just to test your product well, and also who will be eligible to get this reward? Will it be for the DAO or the community as a whole?
So those rules are not governed by me or us as a project. They will be put forward to the members of the project at the point at which the DAO is created and voted upon. So when that structure is set up, if we're saying, I would like, and this is what I would like, right? It's not what will necessarily happen. I would like an additional reward or additional vote for people that are active in the community, because if you are, working in the project, not as a person working in the project, but if you're somebody who cares about the project and you're a holder and you want to make sure that your voice is heard, if you are active and contributing, and I don't know what that necessarily looks like yet. Now, if that means you turn up once a month to a meeting and you listen to the proposals and then you vote on them, maybe you get one extra additional vote. Now, within the DAO structure, once that's voted on, that can be built easily into the smart contract that runs it. So I don't know what that looks like yet. That's my hope. I would love it to be, you know, the people that are more active, but equally, for example, take a scenario where you've got 10,000 members, and let's say 100 of them are active, right? And that's probably in reality a ratio that's true, right? So when your community is running and you've got 100 people that are more active than the other 9,900, it's not fair then that the people, the 100, would have a lot higher voting power, because that's not a DAO, right? So the voting power needs to be spread across everybody that's prepared to take part. Rewards wise, it's not to say that, and this again is not set in stone, because this will be developed and voted upon. It is possible that the people that are more active and contribute more and are the leaders in the community may get a very small additional uplift in any rewards that come out. So again, it's just not set in stone yet, but yes, that's what I would like. I would present that to the community, and then we would vote on it. And if a different opinion comes out, that's where we end up.
Okay, thank you very much for the clarification. I'll be following up a nice presentation from you, and I wish you the best of luck in your project. Thank you, Mr. Shano, for the opportunity.
Yeah,
Thanks,
cheers,
Steve.
Dee. Thank you.
All right, let's wrap it up with one last question. Jeff Walter, you can go for it.
Hey, you. Good
Hey,
day,
buddy.
guys. Good day. So,
Hey.
yeah, good day, Mr. Jokes. Pretty good presentation from your end. And also, I must kind of commend you guys for the website. It's well detailed. And yeah, so my question is kind of concerning the part that you guys said that your partners projects are backed by the AI control treasury. So I just wanted to know how is this coordinated? Would it be as a result of these partners making use of the AI system? I mean, the AI control, or would it be just because they partnered with you? I mean, how does this work?
So we'd like to create a certificate or an author, basically our approval for another project. So once they've been through our process, where we as a DAO talk about their project and basically confirm that it is something that we would want to get involved in, and that we as a community are happy with the way they're running their project, and the way, more importantly, the way they are implementing AI. So the way that it actually fits with the ethos of our community, then we would endorse them. And at that point, we would then talk to the community about investing in that project. So, for example, I can see a scenario where one of the projects that we're talking to at the moment, they come and do an AMA on our channel. I will use marketing funds and part of their contribution to boost the video views on that project. So they will get a huge amount of views, right? I can, with what I've worked on Google for over 20 years, and I've become one of the world's leading experts on YouTube advertising and building channels for people. So when I help projects build their growth and their channel views, I can get 1 million views onto a video really, really quickly and quite easily, and cost effectively. So advertising revenue will come back out of that view pattern. When we then actually earn as a project from that. So as our channel grows and as more video and content is put on, we then become a hub for AI issues. And at that point, that project will have paid to be on that channel. We then take that revenue as a project and reinvest it back into the project that has come onto our treasury, providing the community agrees that. And at that point, that then boosts our treasury growth. So visibly, you guys are able to see which tokens and projects we're involved with, because they're in the treasury wallet. And at any time that's openly viewable by anybody in the community. You can see the value of that wallet, and you can see the transactions that are happening in that wallet. Now, that value that's generated for the community goes back and is then bought back into our own project. So at any point we decide to exit part of a position or all of a position, maybe, we then can because let's say there's a scenario where a project, they've said they're going to do something, they said they're going to do this with AI, and they go off in a different direction and go outside of what we have endorsed them for. We as a community may say, right, okay, we don't want to hold that token anymore. We sell it, but we then use that money to buy back our own token. And that's what raises the floor. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, quite an excellent answer and great presentation from your end. I would have loved to ask more questions, but I see that we are ahead of time. So pretty good stuff. Thanks for the opportunity, Siano. Thank you.
Cheers, Jeff.
Okay,
All right,
thank you.
everybody. Anybody who's missed out on asking questions, I encourage you guys to join the AI Control Telegram, and I'm sure both Simon and Andy will stick around for a few minutes afterwards to answer some questions. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to say thanks to the community for coming out, and also thank you to both of you guys for coming out and hosting this AMA. And like I mentioned, you know. I can see your sale definitely taking off, especially towards the final ends of the sale. But yeah, I will let you guys wrap it up, and then we can let you get on with your day.
So look, appreciate everybody's time. I really am. I'm so glad people have spent time with us, and I know it's been over an hour. If there's anybody that hasn't got their question answered and has got something that they do want to answer, like Shauno says, if you jump over onto the AI Control Telegram now, I will open a voice chat there. And if you want to jump on, I'll answer any questions and stay on for as long as anybody wants. So if you haven't got anything that you need, you want to ask me before you think about even getting involved, please come on and we'll answer anything over there.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Cheers.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers,
have a great
guys.
day, and all the best, gents. See you later.
Cheers. Thank you. Thanks, Shauno.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.